Good morning, good morning. What is going on? You guys, bear with me a couple of seconds while I get set up. It's been a little bit since I've been on live. I had to set up my green screen again. I had to set up my lights again. I really still need to clean out my office and get some new monitors in there so that I can set this stuff up permanently in another room instead of being in the middle of my living room. I'm just trying to pop out my YouTube chat in case anybody has any comments from over there. Just not. Oh yeah, that's what I want. Not clicking the right stuff. All right, there we go. Very good. Okay, guys. Sean, Adam, Brandon, thanks for joining, guys. I'm gonna cut to the chase, I think, here and just get into some Bitcoin price action. And yesterday, I made some pretty good money in another coin as well. All right, most of you guys probably want to know what's going on with Bitcoin. I'll probably start with a daily chart, I think, and we'll take a look at that. And then work our way down the time frames and just see what we see. In case you're wondering, I literally just got out of bed and brushed my hair. I'm enjoying my first coffee, so I really only took a quick look at the charts right now. So we're going to be doing a live analysis, basically. I haven't really done one yet, so you get it real and raw. All right, Patrick, thanks for joining. All right, let me flop over to a screen share here. Pop out the right window. Okay. Should be on screen share now. Yeah. Oh, did it? Oh, no, it didn't automatically switch. 1 second, guys. Let me turn on the right options here. There we go. Now it should work. How's that? Now screen share is working. All right, guys. Okay, so starting with the daily chart. So BTC USD on the daily chart, and I believe these are the exact same charts that were up. All my charts are saved from last time I went live. And you can see the way I drew my arrows for what I was expecting. It didn't quite happen that way. But a lot of the comments and a lot of the thought process between, these resistance lines and all that are still, we're still in play. And again, I mean, market conditions change all the time. So this isn't a business about predicting where the market's going to go. Okay, trading is not about predicting the market. For those of you who think it is, or for those of you who think you're smart and saying, haha, you were wrong, Jesse, you don't know anything about trading, you're always wrong about your calls, whatever. If you think that trading is about predicting what the market is going to do, then you're doing it wrong. Okay, trading is about analyzing the possibilities of what will happen in the market and making a plan for all of the different possibilities that you can come up with, right? So being with this resistance line, I had plans for. Being this resistance line, I had plans for. Okay, and those plans happen to make me money. And when the opposite happens, you get out, you change your plan, right? So, but anyway, so this daily chart, this didn't quite happen quite like this, but as I was saying with it, if we break out of this resistance and if we break out of this resistance, then we're probably going to see some upside. And we have seen some upside so far, especially with this big volume candle. And just this TD count, this is actually our first green 9 since before the new year, when we were still in our 20K pump. And I'm going to show you that here. Just let me clean up these arrows because they're no longer relevant. So if you actually look at this chart, we've had a lot of red 9s. I mean, you got red 9 here, red 9 there, red 9 there. We've had no green 9s. This is the first green 9. So this is the first actually completed TD sequential pattern, all right, since back over here on December the 3rd, all right, when we had our previous green 9 and continued in this FOMO rally all the way up to 20-ish $1,000, right? And then on the crash side, the best number that we seen was a green 8, and that was on March the 5th. All right, so this is definitely a change of pattern, okay? And the reason I say change, okay, we've had 3 waves here where we've actually come down to a red 9, okay, which shows us that the market is very strong in the downside direction, right? And because on the green side we finished with a 6, a 4, a 7, an 8, a 6, all right, and this here really wasn't a wave, but we got a couple of 1, 2, 3, 4s in there, which really indicates indecision in the market. But then we actually finished off with a green 9 again. So it tells us that something different is happening. So based on the daily chart, okay, yes, we're at a green 9, which is, you know, generally a reversal. So I'm expecting to see at least one, maybe a couple of red candles here coming up over the course of the next couple of days, just because like this wave is finished. I don't know if like we're strong enough to get some, you know, FOMO rally right off of a green 9. But generally, like just like the red 9s, you see we have a red 9, then we have some reversal in the upside direction again. And actually with this 1, 2, 3, 4, we did not come below our red 9. So we had some upside direction. Okay, if you look at this red 9, I know we had we extended up to a 13 here, and then we had some upside. All right, we have a red 9, and then we have some upside. So every time you end up with a 9 is usually signals the end of the TD sequential pattern, right? So we're actually supposed to, quote unquote, supposed to reverse. Okay, so I'm expecting reverse, so to have some red direction, which is what this is showing. You look at this candlestick as well. This is a bearish engulfing candle. We have a solid body candle, but the solid body is trading below the previous candle, so it's a bearish engulfing. Excuse me. It's on a 9 count. Of course, as soon as I go live, my phone's ringing, and it's a US number. It's probably telemarketer. Or one of those scam callers. Then Google, verify your listing, scam callers. God, ever since I registered my business like 4 years ago, my phone just, all the scam calls, it's stupid. Okay, so anyway, off this, because we have a bearish engulfing and it's our green 9, okay, green 9, so we should reverse to a red direction now. I'm expecting a couple of red candles, but the overall pattern here is looking fairly good. I mean, I like this amount of volume we got off of here. It's just we got to build some strength back up in the market here, and I think that's going to come, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, and then our previous trend line here as well. This was that long-term trend line where I said if we broke it, I'd probably see you at, you know, 5 to 6K, which we actually got to neither. So again, what I'm looking is possibly, here's the possibility, was that breaking this trend line, our lower trend line, was just a bear trap. Okay, was just to trap the bears, and we could go back on the bullish side again. Because I like how we are trading back above this trend line, and if we can, you know, hold it or at least not go too far below it, because there's inaccuracies here. The trend line could be anywhere in this range because there are inaccuracies due to the long time frame in that. But I'm hoping we can continue trading, you know, on or above this trend line, and then this here is actually just a bear trap. Is there a possibility we can still drop back out? Yes, absolutely. Now, based on the daily chart, let me write those indicators again. Based on the daily chart, you see how when you encounter a red 9, all right, you see it starts drawing these dots across in a line formation. Then next time it encounters a red 9 or trading, next time it encounters a red 9, it stops and it starts a new little dotted line. Okay, now if we did start trading back again below this, which again, this is the bottom, so I mean, it's pretty obvious. If we did start trading below this red dotted line that's forming, then that's a breakout in the bearish direction, and then, I mean, guaranteed 4 to 5K is in play then for sure, right? But with any luck here, we don't actually start trading below this red 9 again. I mean, there's a lot of bullish sentiment coming into the market right now. which is good. There's actually been a few news articles posted from mainstream media sources about how bearish, the Bitcoin market is, and they're posting these when they're down at the bottom. So when the news media is posting about bearishness at the bottom, usually that means that the institutions, the big players, the big money people are starting to buy, right? They want to buy when everybody else is afraid of the markets. And we know that there's a lot of fear in the market down here. So it could have been the bottom, right? But based on this pattern, bearish engulfing, green 9, I'm expecting a couple of red candles. And then hopefully, let's see, we would have a resistance here at about 7,500 and then another one at about 72. So ideally, I'd like to see just a couple of just small short red candles here, and then a bounce at the 75, which would have us bouncing at the top of this green 1, and then return back to the bullish direction again. So that's kind of what I'm looking for based on the daily chart right now. So let's go back to this chart formation here, and we'll go to a 12-hour chart. 12-hour chart. 12-hour chart is showing something that looks like an evening star, which basically tells us we're going bearish, which agrees with my daily chart. 12-hour chart though looks like we may just get some bouncing right off of this trend line, which is possible. Definitely some crossovers with the moving averages beginning to happen here. That's a very good sign, especially on the 12-hour being such a large time frame. But you do see it could just be crossing over into a dead cat as well. So let me erase some redundant lines here, some useless lines. So let's see, our MACD is still on the bullish side, but is curving. So we could end up seeing that crossover, and then, excuse me, and then again with our daily chart where I'm saying we should have a couple, where we should have a couple of days of bearishness. That would agree if our MACD crosses over, turns bearish. RSI is definitely pointing down and did not get to the overbought area, and it's pointing down. So ideally in this particular case, I'd like to see RSI come down to the 50 line and bounce off the 50 line. And then by the time that happens, we should be about at the 7,500 range. And then we could see some good bullish after that. Now, if RSI does break below the 50, I would say that it's going to go all the way down to the bottom again. And in that case, we're going bearish and we're going to 6K, 6,500, something like that again. A note of concern, it looks like here on the 12-hour, we have a rejection on the 100 EMA. So that agrees with my daily chart analysis that says a couple of days of bearishness. But we are between the 100 and the 55 right now, so we could just be playing this particular range. So we could have a bottom of 77.50 and just be bouncing back up to retest the 100. It's like I say, this isn't a game of predicting the market. This is a game of making a plan. And right now I'm actually flat. I don't have a position in the market, and I'm sort of waiting to confirm a bounce or get some kind of massive drop where I can, scalp the bottom or something like that. One or the other, whichever scenario happens, I'll take it. But we are trading, between the 100 and 55 EMAs right now. So if we get down to the 55, I'll probably test a buy in there. If we get down to 75, I would probably test a larger buy. If we broke above the 100 EMA, then I would probably take my stock and buy in at spot and hold it, assuming that we're going to continue a bullish rally here. So right now, like I say, I'm flat. I'm just trying to confirm one scenario or the other, and that's based on the 12-hour. Let's see, 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart is interesting. We did get our 55 EMA cross above our 100 EMA. That is a very, very bullish indicator. And it does look like now on the 4-hour chart, it does look like we could get some bouncing action take place. We have a lot of shadows on the bottom side of all of these candles in here, and we may just get a bounce right here on this trend line or somewhere around this trend line, because this is a very bullish indicator, this crossover. Now our MACD is definitely showing bearishness, our RSI is showing bearishness, and our our low time frame EMA cluster is looking like we might get some crossover in there. So there's a lot of very mixed indicators on this chart, which is one of the reasons I'm still flat. Like I say, I'm looking to confirm some information right now before I make some decisions. However, there are, mixed indicators on this chart. So like, to me, it's not at this time information to trade on. I want to see at least one or both of my my indicators down here agree with my moving averages or agree with my chart pattern or my candlestick pattern. I want to see some kind of confluence between my indicators before I decide to risk my money in the markets. A 1 hour chart. Now the 1 hour chart actually is looking a lot better for a bounce right now. Our RSI is rather low. If we did come down and just tap this 7,900 trend line, RSI would actually just dip into the oversold and bounce, right? I mean, that could very well happen. Moving averages do say bearishness. RSI is very bearish right now, but it's so low that it's a bounce of some kind is almost inevitable at this point because of how low RSI is, right? Now, bounce to 20K? No, not my call, but a bounce is like if we go up 500 bucks, that's a bounce, okay? So by RSI is saying that a bounce is, probably going to happen in the next few hours. It's just got to dip down to that oversold, and then people will buy it up again. Now, MACD is extremely bearish at the moment, but there's so much separation between the two lines right now. So much separation between the MACD and signal line. All right, and this works very similar to moving averages. When you get a very large separation between your lines, it works similar to a slow moving average and a fast moving average, right? Where when you get so much separation between your averaged lines or your signal lines or whatever you want to call them, they start coming back together, right? Which indicates a bounce. Now, it doesn't indicate a bullish rally until we get some crossover and then our signal lines start crossing back over and some distance above the zero line. However, this large separation does tell me that a bounce is probably likely to happen somewhere here pretty soon, based on this chart time frame anyway. Okay, and so MACD and our 100 EMA bounce, our trend line, okay, our RSI actually do agree here right now, even though this is very bearish. Okay, they do agree that a bounce is inevitable. Okay, but there's no indication of a bull rally on this particular chart. It's only an indication of a bounce. But I'm a trader, all right? I'm not a hodler. Okay, I'm not buying a bunch of coins to hold them for 5 years and hope to be a millionaire in 5 years. I'm trading every day, right? So a bounce, if we get a $500 bounce, so we bounce from here to 8,500 bucks again, that would probably put a couple of $1,000s in my pocket because I'm trading a little bit of leverage, right? And as long as I catch the meat of that move, I'm making some pretty good money, and that can happen over the course of a day, maybe two. So I think, a bounce is very, very possible. But again, the mixed indicators on this chart, we do have crossover from our EMA cluster on the 55 EMA, which tells me to go short right now. So mixed indicators, again, like I say, I'm waiting for some confirmation in order to, decide what I'm going to do. Now, had I have been awake 4 hours, 5 hours ago, I probably would have went short based on this indicator. But it's too late now. I missed that move. I missed this big candle, right? And even at that, with this candle, I got from 8,000 down to, even if I hit that perfectly, I might have only made a couple of $100. Like, it wouldn't have even been worth it. I would need a second leg down in order to actually profit on that trade. So probably good that I wasn't awake, because I know there's a bounce coming in here someplace. Okay, moving down to another time frame. I'll skip the 30. I'm going to go to the 15 because I do a lot of trading on the 15. Now, the 15 is still very bearish. However, well, actually, it's looking like it might actually bounce. Based on the 15-minute, a guy could play a bounce right now. Okay, so we have our EMA cluster is curving, all right? It's curving. Our price action is testing our EMA lines in here. Fine, that's good. RSI is like completely freaking, did completely bottom and starting to go up. But I mean, that could come right back down and do it again. MACD is what's interesting. We did get crossover, a histogram. All it is, when you get a crossover, it's just that it paints it on the histogram as well, that you're crossing over and getting some upside action. But we are getting some crossover, which signals a bounce, right? RSI has bounced, price action, testing some lines in here. So I don't know. I guess if you tested a buy, I don't know how much upside you really have here. Because likely what's going to happen, we'll probably come up to our 55 EMA and find some resistance up there. So that's only a move of $100. So that's not necessarily worth it. If you bought right now, you would have to hope that we do continue to bounce and we break our 55 and 100 EMAs and then confirm some kind of bullish trend. As for myself, I think what I'm going to do is just wait for that trend to confirm at the moment. Just kind of based on the analysis of all of the other time frames, especially that daily chart. Like, I don't like to trade against what the daily chart tells me. The daily chart tells me some bearishness right now and probably for the next day, 2 or 3. So like, I don't want to really trade against that until I get some solid confirmation of some further information, right? Right now, I think if I made a buy and tried to play a long position right now, that would be called gambling. And I'm really not here to gamble. I want to wait for some more information so I can make an educated decision as opposed to just a gamble. Because if you want to gamble, you have far better odds. Okay, like I know in these markets it seems really simple. It might go up, it might go down, right? But the odds are stacked against you. Okay, if you're just out here gambling and you're not using the information you have. If you want to gamble, what I suggest is you just take all your money and go to the casino. And there's 2 games you can play, okay? If you know how to play blackjack, then you're going to do very much, you'll do much better at blackjack than you will at trading, okay? Because you got a 49% chance of winning, you know, as long as you play the odds and you know how to play. If you don't, okay, then what I suggest you do is just take a little walk over to the roulette table and put all your money on red or black, because you have like a 48.5% chance of winning on that game, and you don't need to know how to do anything, right? But if you're trading in these markets and you're just gambling, then you're doing it wrong. You need to be using some of this information, making educated decisions, you know, not just, you know, randomly picking a direction, right? And I think right now, if I just made a buy right now, I think that would be a gamble, because there's there's an equal amount of information on this chart that says we could go up, could go down. And on the higher time frame, it says there's a higher degree of chance that we could see a little bit more downside before we see any upside. So that's where I'm at with Bitcoin, all right? So before I move on, are there any questions about Bitcoin? Okay. Aaron, Mark, Mohammed, Moon, Jacques, Keith, Saman, Daniel, Anwar, Joshua, John, Pacific Suits. Pacific Suits? What kind of name is that? But anyway, thanks for joining, guys. Patrick says, yeah, my stop kicked in while I slept, and I have around 7,600. Have around... Okay. I don't know what you mean. A 7,600 bottom, 7,600 bounce, $7,600 trading balance. I don't know what you mean by 7,600. Just kind of weird, because I don't know when you said that, so I don't know what you were replying to. Okay, no questions over there. All right, moving on. All right, so EOS I made some money on in this rally. Guys, I made a lot of money in this rally. This was like sick. And I didn't think it was going to happen. I seriously didn't think it was going to happen. I just kept chasing it with a stop loss all the way up until I was like waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for this to hit my stop loss, because I knew it was going to take a bounce down. I knew it. And I ended up stopping out in this little bounce down here. But I made a lot of money on EOS the other day. Now I'm kind of waiting for this here to play out. I don't know if it's going to get a bounce. I think it's like, I don't know. I think it's too high. I think it's overpriced. And I think the only reason it went up was because it was having an airdrop. So I'm not buying it right now, but I probably should have shorted it. No, I didn't do that either. I'm a pussy. I didn't short it. Made a bunch of money with EOS the other day, but that's not what I wanted to talk about. OMG is a coin that I'm watching right now. I actually had it in this pump. I did not sell the absolute top. I missed the absolute top, but I did make myself like $1,000 on this trade by catching the meat of this move. And I forget my entry and exit conditions. I'd have to check my charts. But I'm watching this because I'm kind of thinking we'll get a continuation on this. And if you really look, we had, after this pump, we had one little dip where we bear trapped below our 100 EMA. We had another little bear trap where we dipped below our 100 EMA, and we came back up with some force, with some volume behind it. I'm kind of thinking right now, thinking about this. Now I'm unsure because I'm going to trade this with leverage, and I want to get the best possible price, or I wanted to confirm an uptrend, a continuation before I buy. But so there's two theories here. Is one, I'd like it to confirm, and two, I'd like to get the best price possible. So one of two things are going to happen here right now. One, I want to see it just dip down and wick and hit the 55 EMA, and I'm going to make a buy at about $14.10. Okay. And then it's going to bounce. Alternatively, we're going to start trading above the EMA cluster, and I want to see the EMA cluster fan out, all right, in the proper direction. And then I'll buy the next bounce on top of the EMA cluster, and then it will go up. Alternatively, what's going to happen is I'm going to make a buy on the 55 EMA, and then it's going to go down, and I'm going to lose a bunch of money. But there are, based on just this 15-minute chart, just how well we are bouncing, staying above that EMA, I think there's a good possibility that we could see another leg up off of this. Let me zoom out to some other time frames as well, because I've only just been eyeing this up. I'm not really dead set on it yet. I think really it has to take one more leg down before it goes up. And that's why I'm thinking at the 55 or the 100 EMA is probably going to be where I want to make my buy. This is a very short-term trade. This isn't a buy it and hold it, I don't think. Look at the 1 hour chart. The 1 hour chart also looks to me as though it's trading and it's trending above the EMAs, where really it's spending most of its time above the EMA cluster, the short-term EMA cluster, and it's only just it's bear trapping below the 55, bouncing at the 100. Pretty bullish indicator. RSI has room to move up on the hourly. It never hit overbought on the hourly, and it's still above the 50 line. So I think that looks pretty good for a bounce. Hourly's got a half hour left, 34 minutes left on this candle. So I could see this probably in the next hour, or the second hour from now, possibly get ourselves a little other bounce on that. Now this wick does scare me a little bit, but really not extremely worried. Because I mean, I would count this as just kind of the first leg of this bounce. I don't know, this looks very bullish to me. On the hourly, MACD's crossed over. We're on the positive side of the 0 line. That's bullish. RSI not overbought and didn't hit overbought yet, and it's still above the 50. That's bullish. All this trading, all this bouncing on the EMAs is bullish. That looks good. The only scary thing is that our highest volume was on the sell candle with this large wick. All right, so that's the only mixed indicator on this chart that I am seeing right now. But to me, it looks like some upside. Now, the thing is that you look at this in terms of percentages, all right? So from $14.30, and even if we only get to $15, what's the percentage on that, okay? Okay, so that's a 10% move. That's a 9.5% move, okay? So even from $14.30 to $15, okay, is enough, like, at leverage that I make a significant amount of money, especially when using a little bit of leverage. All right, so, and actually that would put my whole account up by 10%. So at the value that I intend on trading on this trade, and the leverage that I intend on trading at this trade. So I see that as a possibility, even if it only goes there. Now, I do see the possibility of this taking another leg up as well in the next hour or two, because I like how it's bouncing on these clusters, all right? Now, the other side of that coin is that if it drops only from $14.30 down to about $13.70, that's also a 10% drop, right? So kind of, well, actually, that doesn't make sense. That's not 10%. That's only 5%. 14.30. So $1.40 would be, yeah, that don't make any sense. How come the calculator gives me the wrong answer? Right? That don't make any sense. I must have screwed up. Divided by 15. That don't make any sense. Right? Percentage. You take the small number divided by the big number, multiply it by 100. That would be 95. Oh, 95% of. That don't make any sense. I'm obviously not doing that right, am I, guys? I feel like an idiot right now. I just got out of bed, so give me a break. Let me do this manually instead of with a stupid calculator. So I'm $14.30, so every 70 cents is 5%. So $15 gives us 5%, right? Because we need $1.40 to make 10%. So that means 70 cents is 5%. So from here to $15 only would be 5% gain. I'd make a ton of money on a 5% gain. And that's easily doable if this, even if this this could come up and then it could form the a bull trap pattern, and even at $15 is enough, I can get out of that at a significant profit. So that's possible. But what really interests me seriously is all of this bouncing and this trading above the EMA cluster, and just every time that we've dipped below, I wasn't really extremely bearish. It was just a bear trap. So I'm watching OMG, guys. That's kind of one of my coins of interest. And if you kind of look at the side on Finex, we've got red, 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 red. Oh, but look at OMG. OMG is the only coin that's actually green right now. Green across the board. I mean, BCH is green here, but it's not in USD, so it's still losing value. Oh, BTG, what's that? Is that Bitcoin Gold? Must be. Bitcoin Gold, BTG? I don't know. I guess that one's green, but I don't know. That's a shit coin. I guess there's a couple of other ones, but I can't trade these ones at leverage, so they really don't interest me so much. I like to use leverage. I don't want to move. I don't want to actually hold these coins. I want to get in and out as quickly as possible. But as far as the coins that can trade on leverage, OMG is the only one that's green, really. So that's kind of something I'm interested in right now. Bitcoin order book looks like it could go up, so we could be in for the bounce on Bitcoin. Could be in. All right, guys, so that's what I'm seeing. Bitcoin waiting for information confirmation. OMG watching very, very closely, and I'm thinking about making a buy on that one and seeing what happens here. Definitely some money to be made. Also extremely high risk considering how fast they can drop 10 or 20% right now. So anyway, guys, any questions about this? Any questions, comments, anything you'd like me to answer, to help you with? You mentioned that you are leveraging your BTC trades. That's with a broker account. Is Bitfinex a broker? I don't think they have a brokerage license. Well, actually, in fact, I know they don't have a brokerage license because they don't accept US traders. So no, I'm not using a broker. Also, BitMEX. BitMEX is the other one where I trade on leverage sometimes, not so often because the leverage is too high. And I can tell you for a fact that they also do not have a brokerage license because they do not accept US clients. Now, you can still get on both of those exchanges if you use a VPN. So you can actually, if you just go to my YouTube channel and just look up how to buy an ICO using a VPN. I got a tutorial on there about how to use a VPN. Both I have a free VPN and a paid VPN, where I much prefer the paid version. But if you use a VPN, you can get on those exchanges, and no, they don't have brokerage licenses. Otherwise, they would be trading in the US. or allowing U.S. traders, pardon me. Any other questions? I don't see any other questions, guys. I'm just going to give you a couple of seconds to come up with some questions. Maybe while you guys are thinking up some questions, I'm just going to check out the news here real quick. And see what we can see. Chinese merchants in Moscow convert most of their cash to crypto. Oh, excuse me. Interesting. And again, I'm just browsing, so if you guys have any questions or comments or anything, then feel free to drop them there in the Facebook chat or the YouTube chat, and we'll get those answered for you. And if not, then I guess the stream is over. Oh, did you guys see the news? It's not up here right now, but I seen it the other day. Bitmain got approved to open a Bitcoin mining facility in Walla Walla County in Washington State. So that's really cool. They're because of all the pressure in China right now against Bitcoin miners, Bitmain's actually moving their facilities into other locations. And I heard reports of possibly opening one up here in Quebec, Canada, one someplace in Europe, and as well as the one that is now confirmed that they actually got an approval for in Washington State. So that's really, really cool. Sort of one of the reasons why I don't want to buy any Bitmain hardware right now is because I think that the reason that they're pumping out so much absolute shit right now is because they're moving, right? So they're selling off all their old junk. And that's why I'm staying away from buying any more equipment from them at the moment. Though mining is still, I'm still interested in mining. It's just, to me, not the right time to be making investments in that space. So anyway, but yeah, that was kind of a piece of interesting news to me, which says SRB miner, Kryptonite AMD GPU miner for all your Kryptonite needs. What? What the hell is this? Oh, it's mining software. I thought it was a GPU that was released or something, but okay, so it's a software. That's fine. SRB miner is a closed source miner and comes with a built-in developer fee. Nope, I'm out. There's so many open, like I don't like anything closed source. You don't know what they're doing when you run software that's closed source. You don't know what the software is doing. You want to run open source software as much as possible. That way there, you know that it's, even if you don't know programming yourself, you're not going to compile your own source code. It adds an extra security layer because you can trust that other members who do know programming have looked at the source code to ensure that it's not malicious before they run it on their own computers. So if you are running at least some open source software, it adds an extra degree of security, and then there won't be a developer fee in it. And there's other miners out there that support several of the Kryptonite algorithms anyway. So yeah, I'll pass on that. Thanks, guys. Moving on. What else do we have? You guys have questions? What do you think about Potcoin, and what do you understand the effective life term for mining hardware? Okay, starting with Potcoin. Okay, I'm gonna start with Potcoin. Let me go back to my charts. What do I think of Potcoin? Well, like I said, every time Potcoin goes below 1,200 Satoshis is a good time to buy. So let's see where it's at. I think a buddy of mine trades in Potcoin all the time, and I think he already made his trade. Okay, so Potcoin went, it hit below 1200 Satoshis right there, and then it pumped. Look, I was right. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't watching it, so I didn't buy it. So to me, it looks like it's too late. I buy Potcoin when it's under 1200 Satoshis. That's when I buy Potcoin. If it's not below 1200 Satoshis, I don't buy it. So I missed the boat. Moving on to bigger and better things. Now, I mean, there's a possibility it'll bounce. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it could be on a bull rally. Who knows, right? But let's take a quick look here. Let me just zoom this a little bit. We have, look at that. We have here alt. Ah, shit. No one, guys, show you my porn history. Not Control H, I want Alt H. Okay. So we have a high, then we have a higher high, and on RSI, not there. RSI, oh, look at that, guys. Ooh, stay away from that. We have a high, then we have a lower high. You know what that's called, right? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. So, if you guys don't know what that is, cointrademastery.com, make an account, and grab yourself the trading course. But I'll tell you that I'm staying well away from it. And the other question was, yeah, Moon, if you bought under 1200 Satoshis, then you're doing absolutely awesome. Very good. You made money. Okay, so what do you understand the effective life term for mining hardware? It very much depends. Your life term for mining hardware has so many factors behind it. Where, like, for example, there's some hardware that by the time it arrives at your door, it's already obsolete. You know, it depends on the price that you paid for it. It depends on the difficulty adjustment increase. Depends on the price in the market. It depends on how much you overclock it and how much heat it generates, because you could very well, like I did, turn it on and overheat it in 15 minutes and fry some components. So life term of mining hardware is such a complex topic that there's no definitive answer. Your lifespan for mining hardware is somewhere between 15 minutes and 1 year. It's such a complex topic, all right? Such a complex topic. So what you need to do in that case is you need to run the numbers on it, right? And every piece of mining hardware, GPU hardware, is going to have a different lifespan. Now for myself, if I can't, you know, successfully determine two things. One, that I'm going to get at least a 6-month lifespan out of a piece of hardware, and determine that I'm going to have it paid off in less than 6 months, then I won't invest in said piece of mining hardware. That's just how I go. But to tell you what the lifespan of your mining hardware will be is impossible, because there's too many factors. Any other questions out there, guys? Oh, there's a couple others. Keith asked also, do you hedge and hedge BTC using other altcoins? Yes, actually. For example, here, I'll actually show you an example of where I hedged and what I actually did. Should be back on screen share here. And don't quote me on the exact entries and exits, okay? So here's what I did. And it happened to be between EOS and... So it's back here in this dip. All right, so I had BTC in that dip, and it dipped at the same time as EOS kind of thing. Okay. Oh, and it was before this pump because I made money on both my trades. All right, so we have this dip. I think this is it, 4.9. And this is, no, 320. I'm just trying to find the locations here of where I... Okay, it had to be in there someplace. Anyway, so yes, I do hedge, all right? So here's what I did, all right? I had a short in BTC. Ah, no. It was back here then. That's right, because I had a short in BTC someplace in here thinking it was going to go down again, right? Then we went up, and we went up and up and up. And then what I ended up doing was I hedged in EOS, okay? And I hedged, and I waited for this to happen, right? And so, and I hedged, so I was short on BTC, okay? And I was long on EOS, all right? So, and as you can tell, you look at BTC, we ended up we ended up actually going up, right? Oh, that's right, because we started pumping. And I exited during this pump, I believe. Don't quote me on this. But anyway, so Bitcoin, my short failed. I was at a loss. I shorted way too low. I think I must have shorted the bottom. Like, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because we bought them at like 65. We had this little pump, and then I shorted, right? And then we ended up going up, right? So I ended up actually taking a hedge with an EOS long position, all right? So I went long on EOS and I was short on BTC. So when EOS pumped like this, right, I got out with such a good profit. I actually closed my BTC short at a loss, and before our second pump happened. So I think my loss is like in this pump someplace, or just after this pump someplace, something like that. And yeah, before all of this happened. So yeah, I totally do hedge sometimes. Now, something else I sometimes do, because on Bitfinex they actually have euro pairs as well. So something I will do is, when I want to hedge, okay, let's suppose I have a long in BTC, and I think it will play out in the longer term. But why am I showing you my Telegram? Is my screen share still on? Oh shit. There we go. Okay. All right, so something I will do is, let's suppose I'm long on Bitcoin, right? And I believe that the long is going to play out, all right, in the longer time frame, but there's going to be a short time frame of downside, right? So basically, I bought my long, but I bought my long too early, and we're going to go down first. So what I will do, let's say I'm long on BTC USD, okay, because I can't hedge in a short BTC USD position from the same account. Now, if I had a separate account, or I could go over to BitMEX BitMEX and make a short over there on a different exchange, right? But sometimes what I'll do is I'll just short the euro pair, right? So I'll be long on BTC USD and I'll be short on on BTC EUR. And then when the price goes down, I can close out my short in euros. I make some euros, and then we bounce and we go up. And then when BTC skyrockets, I can close my long in BTC USD. Then I saved my ass. I made money both directions. And then I can move on to bigger and better things and hopefully smarter entry conditions. So yeah, sometimes I do hedge, but it's not often, because a lot of time when you hedge, you could end up losing both positions. It's kind of like shooting yourself in the foot. Every time you go down on one position, you go up on the other. Every time you go up on the other, you go down on the other. So when you hedge, you're actually not making any money. You're hoping that both conditions play true on different time frames, right? So hedging is a risky position, but sometimes it can save your ass when you realize you were wrong in the near term, but possibly right in the longer term. So yeah, hedging is a possibility. Any other questions out there? Yeah, you're welcome, Keith. There, no problem. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to drop them. No questions on YouTube, but of course, guys watching on YouTube, I know I don't have a lot of viewers. Oh, I had a maximum of 3 whole viewers. Wow. Superstar. But anyway, if you guys do have any questions, feel free to drop them. More than happy to answer any questions. Now, guys, if you get any value out of my videos, a couple of things I would absolutely appreciate. If you could go ahead and share this video on your Facebook, would make me, extremely happy if you guys got some value out of it. Right, I know I do have my website link there, but I don't pump too much sales and marketing BS in my videos. This is about delivering value to you guys, right? So if you don't mind, if I could get a share, that would be awesome. If you like this video, that's what that button is for, okay? If you dislike this video, you can always go over to my YouTube and smash that button. And feel free to leave me some nasty comments under the videos, because I get some entertainment out of that. I really enjoy it. Okay, so that's when I get my popcorn out, and I just I like that sort of entertainment. So feel free. But yeah, much appreciated. Likes, comments, guys. It helps get my videos out there, build some awareness, get some more people into this trading community, get some more people trading profitably as well. I mean, there's so many people out there that just don't know what they're doing, or they're following the wrong information, or like I say all the time, guys, professional traders don't go to YouTube and follow random people and do what they say. They make their own decisions. And people that don't know what they're doing are just following other random people, and letting other people make financial decisions for them. Basically, you're not thinking for themselves, right? So very, very important that you do get some trading education, you do get some guidance, some direction, get some reasoning behind the trades you're making. Like if you have to enter a trade based on reasons, right? Conditions, right? And when you're wrong, you got to admit you're wrong and get out. But if you don't know those reasons, you don't know those conditions, you can follow some guy, random guy on YouTube like me, and I can say, look, here's my entry condition, right? But if you don't know what my exit condition is, and my exit, there's always two exit conditions. When you enter a position, there's always two exit conditions. The first exit condition, obviously the better one, is I was right. So I made money and I'm going to exit at profit. The other exit condition is that I was wrong, okay? And there's always chart conditions. There's chart conditions, many chart conditions for that indicate I was wrong. Now I'm going to exit my position at a loss in order to save myself from further loss, right? So, but if you don't know the conditions, then you're going to lose all your money, right? So very, very important that you get some trading education. And my trading course does offer that. I get some very, very good reviews on my trading course. People really, really enjoy the information that they get. Actually, here's one. All right, here, actually, give me 1 second because I don't want to show this entire private conversation. But if you allow me just a second to pop up a screenshot, and then I can cut out the personal chat. Crop. Okay, cool. Now, if I go like this, should be screen share on. All right. So here's one of the comments I got about my course and some help that I give my members. Even though I've been quiet lately, it's been a while since I've been live, right? And but I still try to answer any questions. If you inbox me a question, it'll ring on my phone. I'll answer you at my earliest convenience, right? But so Cryptalica, one of the members in my Discord channel, and he's a paid member of the Coin Trade Mastery trading course, which is where he got a lot of his, his theory behind his trades. Because before he was trading by following random people on YouTube and believing random information on the internet, which is not the right way to do it. So he got some education through the Coin Trade Mastery trading course, which teaches things like, candlestick patterns, simply how to read a candlestick, and then patterns, trends, support, resistance, chart patterns, indicators like RSI, moving averages, and then trading strategies, to combine a lot of these things together. So Cryptalica says, finally got my first Bitcoin with your help, man. Took a couple of $1,000, and turned it into a coin over the last couple of months. You and a few others, saying that there's a few other people that he also follows and gets some help and advice from, right? So he's stoked, like he's completely excited. And so a lot of this, theory and the things that help him, make the decisions in the market now is because he got some education through the trading course, right? So very, very powerful information that I share. A lot of it is, it's not very complex information. Now it does seem complex if you don't have trading education, you don't know the terminology yet. It may seem a bit complex at first, right? However, once you dive into it, like I go through my videos, they start basic and then they start ramping up to more and more complexity as they go on. So if you follow through and always refer back to the cheat sheet that I have of the the terminology and the chat lingo and that we use, then you should be able to follow along no problem. So it's very, very important that you do get some education so you can go from that guy that's following random people on YouTube to actually drawing your own charts and making your own freaking decisions. So Keith also asks, hey Jesse, love the green screen. What service are you using for that? And you video broadcast, completely professional. Well, you can do it absolutely for free. Well, other than the green screen, you got to get a green screen and some lights. You do need some fairly evenly distributed lights, because if you don't have evenly distributed lights, you end up with hot spots and dark spots on your green screen, and then it looks like shit, right? But you can use any streaming software basically that supports chroma key. So OBS supports chroma key. Also, what's the other free one you can get for free is XSplit. XSplit has chroma key. I prefer OBS for that. Now I actually have a completely legitimate version of Wirecast, right? And Wirecast is like an extremely professional software. It's like $900 if you wanted to go and buy it, right? And yeah, Wirecast is what I'm using for it. Just it allows some easier options with the scene arrangements and all that. And I just like some of the other additional features it has with the equalizers and the like I have a little bit of equalization on my microphone so that I don't sound like a little boy when it comes over the speakers, right? So not that my voice is particularly high pitched, but for some reason when I hear myself back on camera, it doesn't sound anything like a man's voice. So I put a little bit of equalization there to boost the bass a little bit, cut down the squeaks a little bit, you know. So yeah, you can do it completely free. You just need a green screen and a decent camera and a streaming software like OBS. Done. So there's no like service that you need to pay for or anything. Yeah, it's pretty fun though. Yeah. And then you make up some backgrounds. You basically, I go to, so for my backgrounds, here's the secret, guys. You want all these backgrounds I have and all that. Besides the one I do where I'm just playing music, sometimes I come on live on Facebook and I'm just playing some music, and that's got that trippy background with all the animations going. That one's different. But for all my other backgrounds, it's a very, very simple, guys. You go to a website, okay? You go to write this down, get a pen and a piece of paper, okay? All right, so you got your pen, your piece of paper, okay? www.google.com, google.com, right? You knew that. So you go to Google and you just type a search in there under image searches and just type in like green screen backgrounds, and then you get all kinds of cool stuff. Or like in the case of this one, I think I put like office green screen background, high resolution or something, and I got this one, you know. So yeah, I Google search all these backgrounds. Yeah, it's fun. So yeah, I love the green screen. It's awesome. And then you guys don't need to look at my messy living room either, and my half-done paint job, and my animal destroyed furniture. Yeah. My lighting is not very even right now. I actually need to pick up 2 more lights because then I can get much more even light distribution. I need a couple of box lights with filters, preferably red filters. That way there I can light my background and foreground a lot more evenly with the proper color combination, and then I can fix the choppiness of my blacks like on my chair. So yeah, I want to do some more work to this, but it'll come in time. Any other questions, guys? No question. All right, well, I don't see any other questions coming in, guys. I think I gave you enough time to think up some questions. I have nothing else to talk about myself. I'm just jibber-jabbering about random stuff now. But guys, like I say, if you want to get some education, you want to take part in the Coin Trade Mastery course, I do keep failing to put up the pre-launch pricing because I've been a little bit preoccupied with a couple other projects, so I haven't added any new content. So I'm still on pre-launch pricing in the Coin Trade Mastery trading course. So if you'd like to get some trading education, you want to learn how to use some different indicators in that, sign up for an account, get involved in the Coin Trade Mastery Discord channel, which is as soon as you log into your Coin Trade Mastery account, right below the welcome video, just scroll below that. There's a link there to join the Discord channel. Pop in the Discord where we can talk trading, and you can get all your questions answered in there. That's at least my preferred medium for talking trading. That way there I can help many people at once instead of dealing with my Facebook inbox where it's really not too, it's not really effective for my time. But on Discord, it really is, because I can help a lot of people at once through the public channel, right? So get involved there. I'd love to see you in. If you are watching on Facebook, something I highly encourage, go over to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/JesseCrypto, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. 2 reasons. 1, I'm trying to get subscriptions on my YouTube channel so I can monetize my videos. Obviously, duh, right? I'd like to get something for these. But the other reason as well is because Facebook maxes out at 720p. So if you're ever having any problems with the video quality, which like myself, I'm looking at my video right now and it's completely choppy and it looks like absolute garbage to me anyway. But of course I'm on a 55-inch 1080p screen and my video looks like garbage. And that's the limitations of Facebook. But if you go over to YouTube, I'm actually streaming in full 1080p at 30 frames a second, so you can get a proper high definition stream from YouTube, and it might make it a lot easier for you to see my charts and see some of those small little lines and annotations and things like that I make on my charts. So highly appreciate it if I can get a sub on my YouTube. Thanks guys. Shoot me a like on my YouTube or a dislike if you really hate me. That's fine. I don't care. I got lots of haters out there. I know. I usually get a dislike on every one of my videos. Probably somebody from back when I made my Vista video and still just likes to troll me and dislike my videos, and that's okay. I don't care. Love it. Like I say, it's entertainment to me. So until next time, guys, we will see you on the next video. Trade safe.